The Baltimore Ravens have found their new backup quarterback. Devin Leary, QB from Kentucky, is the pick at number 218 overall in the 6th round. Welcome into this edition of Ravens Rundown, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. A name very familiar to college football fans, Devin Leary, began his career at NC State, and from there finished at the University of Kentucky this past season. Was at NC State from 2018 to 2022. And prior to this last college football season, he was viewed by many as the number one quarterback entering the transfer portal this year. And goes to Kentucky, and I'll be honest, was a bit disappointing after replacing Will Levis. Stands at 6'1 and 1/4, 215 pounds, 25 years old. And the numbers, this is what's pretty bleak when it comes to Devin Leary. This past season, a completion percentage, 56%, 2,700 yards, 25 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. Now, we'll stop there for a second. I want to show you kind of the difference of what we're talking about. Quarterbacks, when they get older, are supposed to be getting better, right? Not the case with Devin Leary. You go back to 2021 when he was at NC State. His completion percentage was 65.7%. 3,433 yards, 35 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. So the question then becomes, where was that Devin Leary the last 2 seasons? What the hell happened to Devin Leary here, folks? The Ravens get their guy, but they're sitting here hoping that they're getting the version of Devin Leary from 2 years ago, not the version that we saw in 2023 with the Kentucky Wildcats. It's pretty confusing, to say the least. A strong-arm quarterback who can deliver good results when kept clean and on schedule, throws with some anticipation as well, and really just regressed. That's the story when you look at Devin Leary, is that just what happened to this guy who doesn't offer mobility outside of the pocket. So he's going to be different than what we've seen previously with these mobile backup quarterbacks. The old regime, what we saw under Greg Roman, at the offensive coordinator spot, was guys like Tyler Huntley, for example, were brought in to back up Lamar Jackson with the idea of running a similar offense to Lamar Jackson, right? To try to keep things as close to what we saw when Lamar was in there. And then the rumblings were, when Todd Monken took over as OC of the Baltimore Ravens, that he was not a fan of Tyler Huntley, and that he was wanting a more traditional pocket quarterback to be the backup QB. And you look at the current QB roster beyond Lamar Jackson right now, you have Josh Johnson, who they brought back, and then there's Malik Cunningham, who I think Malik Cunningham is more so a wide receiver than he is a quarterback. This tells me that this was more about Todd Monken's preference of going with a pocket quarterback in that direction to be the backup, as opposed to the Huntley, Josh Johnston types. It's a change, and it'll be totally different for the Baltimore Ravens going forward with a guy like Devin Leary to back up Lamar Jackson compared to what we've seen the last couple of seasons. More to come on Devin Leary, we'll tell you about in just a bit. But first, man, we are running on fumes here on Ravens Rundown, but we're powering ahead here as we continue with the draft coverage all weekend long. We're talking about 6th-round picks, folks, and we're not done. We got grades coming up later on here on the channel. Tomorrow we're talking UDFAs, analysis for every single pick here on Ravens Rundown. This is why you subscribe. No one is giving you more comprehensive Ravens coverage than we are here on the channel. Subscribe now. Stay up to date. We're not slowing down after this weekend either. We're talking rookie mini camps, OTAs, getting you set for training camp as well. All that and more on your Baltimore Ravens offseason headquarters. Ravens Rundown by Chat Sports. Subscribe now for free. You'll be glad you did. Today's show is sponsored by Game Time. Game Time, the place to go for last-minute tickets for the best seats and the lowest prices guaranteed. Whether you're looking for tickets to sporting events, concerts, theater productions, comedy shows, and more, Game Time has got it all. Maybe you're looking for tickets to go see the Baltimore Orioles. A couple of weeks from now, the NFL schedule is going to get released, and you can get your Ravens tickets as well. Pick the event you want to go to. They got the prices listed. Then you check the seat you want, see if you like that seat or not. You might stumble upon a flash deal potentially. Then from there, you can check out very easily with Apple Pay, Google Pay, Venmo, all major credit card providers. It's very simple, quick, and easy with Game Time. And we are offering you $20 off your first purchase when you use the promo code ChatSports at checkout. That's $20 off, promo code ChatSports at checkout. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. Terms and conditions do apply. Download Game Time today. All right, so more on Devin Leary. Let's tell you about the situation, if you will, for the Baltimore Ravens here of what it looks like for Devin Leary. This is going to be interesting to see what Todd Monken has in mind to get the old Devin Leary back, because I'll tell you this much. If the Ravens are getting the version that we saw at the University of Kentucky, he will not last long in this league, may not even last through training camp if that version is there. If we see the player that we saw a couple of years ago, then the Ravens might actually end up with a pretty decent backup quarterback here. But that remains to be seen. The Athletic's Dane Brugler had this to say in regards to Devin Leary. He said, Leary has NFL-level arm talent and the tools required to fight for a reserve role. But the consistency of his timing and accuracy must improve to convince a pro coaching staff he is worth a spot. So there's the assignment ahead for Devin Leary here, who was graded by The Athletic as a 5th to 6th round grade. So kind of fits where the Ravens get him there in the 6th round at 218. One thing to watch for as well, he's had a fumbling problem, which you don't say often about quarterbacks. 25 career fumbles, 7 this past year alone. He's dealt with some injuries as well. Had a torn pec back in 2022, a broken leg back in 2020 as well. But we'll see. I mean, I'll say this. If this is the guy Todd Monken wanted, he better be right on this. He better be feeling pretty confident, because the version that we've seen as of late just doesn't look the part. Don't get me wrong. I understand why Todd Monken might want a more traditional pocket quarterback to be the backup, to kind of simplify the offense, if you will, if something were to happen to Lamar Jackson. But Devin Leary, this is the option you turn to? This is my mind's a bit perplexed of Devin Leary here. I mean, hell, I would have rather gone Sam Hartman if we're talking about old college pocket quarterbacks than Devin Leary at this point. So let's go ahead and recap kind of the draft picks for the Baltimore Ravens, what they've done so far at this point. Devin Leary, the most recent pick in the 6th round at 218. But other than that, this has been an incredible draft for the Baltimore Ravens. I'm very pleased. Nate Wiggins, the corner from Clemson, with the 1st round pick. Roger Rosengarten, the offensive tackle from Washington at 62. Adisa Isaac, the edge rusher from Penn State in the 3rd round at 93. Really good value with all 3 of those picks. And then today, the Ravens have just gone on a run, if you will, with Tez Walker, the wide receiver from North Carolina, filling that wide receiver need that the Ravens needed after the departure of OBJ. TJ Tampa, who many had as a 2nd round grade, slips to the 4th round. You get 2 corners in this draft now and fill that area, which certainly needed a lot of help with now Nate Wiggins and TJ Tampa there. Rasheen Ali at the running back spot. You needed some running back help. We don't know when Keaton Mitchell's necessarily going to be back. Ali's going to compete for playing time to get in that rotation, and should be a nice fit there alongside Derrick Henry. And then Devin Leary, and then a 6th round pick at center with Nick Samak out of Michigan State at 228. How would you grade the pick of Devin Leary? I don't feel great about this, if I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to go D, which I know may sound a little tough for a 6th round pick, but there's not a whole lot to like based on what I've seen as of late with Devin Leary. What would your grade be of the pick of Devin Leary? Weigh in the comments section. Let us know what you think. More to come here on Ravens Rundown. Keep us locked in. We're going to have our grade segment coming up in just a little while from right now. UDFA's coming tomorrow on the channel as well. Lock us in. Subscribe now for free for continuing Baltimore Ravens off-season coverage here on the channel. I'll see you next time.